analysis here of some forms of composition that we might refer to as formal, and ideas that are still used. These are areas of least change in art anyway. But formal composition has always been, of course, just the monumental, the vertical. The longer the picture, the more important these side panels are. And usually the theme is established on this vertical, or what they call an H composition, and tied together with the pyramid. Now that's old stuff. But old stuff, only as far as composition is concerned, been around for a long time. But now Picasso was to return to this kind of composition. Cézanne was to return to that kind of composition. We find that of all people, even Van Gogh was to use this kind of composition. Delacroix used it. I mean, even when the Impressionists weren't admitting it, they were using it. Now, the more the composition spreads, in other words, the longer the picture, the more this really ties together. Because actually, if the picture is about like this, and you have your vertical composition, sometimes the pyramid doesn't have to reach all the way to the corners. Now, that's a formal, very formal attitude. We notice that while this is at its height, there were some experimenting going on with other artists. There was an artist up north by the name of Bruegel who began playing with, say, just the pyramid or the diagonal on a picture and began to play with it horizontally. But most of the pictures that we see up to the High Renaissance, they couldn't get enough of this. They couldn't get enough of the vertical, obviously, because that was the philosophy that they were attaching their pictures to. They went into churches, and churches were monumental. The pictures also had to be monumental. Of course, to this day, great art always has a certain monumental quality to it. Lyrical art has a tough time lasting past its own day, but lyrical art is more fun. But some lyrical art has taken hold. We have artists like Turner, for instance, in England, who plays with very lyrical little watercolors, and they're absolutely fantastic, and they're here for all time. So not all art, in the final analysis, at least from our point of view, has to be monumental. But let's put it another way. You do have to carry your idea to an important point. So if you want the eye to go one way or the other, you have to keep it going. Because if we were talking about, say, movement, and you have a movement within some figures, that we're not going to actually catch that unless that movement gets all the way to the frame. So somehow or other, this has to go all the way. Somehow or other, you're going to have to inside the picture, go all the way, and perhaps in some cases feel like it even goes further.